time, let us rest this case because the facts speak for themselves. Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I join in commending the work of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petition. It's a very detailed report. And I thank the committee for also bringing all the people who gave testimonies. On my part, let me just say this. First, to the Nigerian women. Today being the International Day.
Order, please.
Today being International Women's Day, being commemorated all over the world. Also being commemorated in this Senate, because there's an ongoing program that we also join from here. This is not about gender. This is about one fact, that while we struggle as a Senate and as a people to continue to influence laws that will ensure to create more space for our women in public institutions, those of our women who have found themselves in public institutions out of this time should learn, understand, and obey the rules and regulations of those institutions so that they also will be good ambassadors of the Nigerian women. Let me also say that beyond gender, this is not also about North or South. It's not about where you come from. As a matter of fact, all our senators from Kogi are fully opposed to what has happened. And that's why they are all in support of what we are doing. It's also not about political party. Let me also say that what we are doing cuts across different political parties. It's about a sense of indignation to a deliberate refusal to respect the rules and regulations of the Senate as an institution. Mr. President, people will be governor for 8 years as chief executive. They will be honorable minister. They will still go back to the nooks and crannies of their constituencies, go around every village to go and contest election to come to this Senate. It is because there is something about this Senate as an institution. It is also because it is a Senate of rules and regulations. So, this is not about one political party trying to witch hunt another. As a matter of fact, let me emphasize for the record, and for those bloggers who like to sit in judgment over what we do here, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petition is a bona fide member of the Nigerian Labour Party. He's not APC. The minority leader, who spoke very well as a minority leader, trying to also make a case, did not say he was opposed to this, because he was one of those who played a major role in trying to curtail this whole situation from degenerating in the first instance. All he had to just say was to make a plea of mitigation from 6 months to 3 months. But he's not opposed to what we are doing. He's of the People's Democratic Party and a ranking senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But he's guided by conscience and a sense of indignation to, like I said, a deliberate, refusal to obey rules and regulations of an institution. May I also emphasize that this is also not about gender. I said it before. Most distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe, God bless her, she's busy at the International Women's Day program with your permission, and we are going to join them there. She has different programs to attend today as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Women Affairs. Distinguished Senator Mrs. Ireti Kingibe signed this report as a member of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions. Her name is number 21, and her signature is there, fully in support of these regulations. Senator Ireti Kingibe is not a member of APC. Senator Ireti Kingibe is not a man. She's a woman. And by the grace of God and the privilege extended by this Senate, she's the chairman of the Senate Committee on Women Affairs. So this is not about where you come from. It's not about your political party. It's not about your gender. It is about this institution that is called the Senate and the need for each and every one of us who is privileged to be here, because it's only a privilege. Nothing suggests that we are the best in our various constituencies. It is a privilege, and we are here by public trust of our constituents who voted for us. So, it is a collective desire of this institution called the Senate that we will restore law and order. And I also want to remind all of us and the public that all those who are served in the Senate or in the House of Representatives and who felt that their achievement should be measured by the number or the volume of content they created on the social media, who felt their achievement should be measured by the number of followers they had on social media, all those who felt grandstanding should be the order of the day. I'm sure you can begin to name them in both houses. Where are they today? Who is talking about them today? What is their relevance in the polity of this nation? Let this lesson be learned by everybody. And let everyone understand that when we are here, this is a hallowed chamber. I listened to distinguished Senator Natasha on Arise News. And I'm saying to all my distinguished colleagues, I had no regrets about what she said about me. She said I called her at exactly 13 minutes past 12. I had no regret. And every one of you know it is characteristic of my own person and leadership role to try to reconcile everybody. I went to the Senate president, and I got there that night. And I said, sir, tomorrow in chamber, you will have to tender a public apology to distinguished Senator Natasha. I beg you in the name of God. Because her understanding of what you said is different from the way you are interpreting it, by saying she should not speak as if she was in a nightclub. And Mr. President, you explained again that what you meant was that it's only in the nightclub that everybody speaks in loud voice, trying to raise their voice above the volume of the music. And I said, sir, I understand you. But tomorrow you need to explain that again to her and other Nigerian women and apologize to her. And you asked me a question, why is it that you are always coming to me to talk? You have not have you called Senator Natasha? Everybody is dragging me on the social media, her bloggers, including herself, saying I must go down. Have you called her? And I picked my call and called Senator Natasha, placing her on speakerphone. DSP was there, and two other of our colleagues. And I called. I didn't think 12 midnight was any time that we would not still be awake as senators. We go to bed 2 a.m., 3 a.m. People who are dragging us on social media should know that. And when I called distinguished Senator Natasha, the first thing I said was, distinguished, I am sorry. I hope I did not wake you up. She said, no, sir. I'm still busy. I'm still at work. You know, I can't be sleeping by this time. And I said, how is my brother? Referring to her husband. She said, he's fine and he's right here. And I said, I only called you to ask you a question. She said, what? I said, my dear sister, what would you gain? Because I'm reading everything your people are saying on social media. But what will you gain if the Senate president goes down? What do you stand to benefit. That was all the discussion. And as she was talking, she said, well, I didn't start this fight. As she was talking, my phone started saying reconnecting, meaning that network was failing. I cut it off and called back. As soon as she came back, Mr. President, you took over the discussion, believing that you were talking to a friend's wife who just said the husband was by her. And you said, Princess of the Senate, why are your people dragging me? And we discussed all of this. And at the end of the discussion, you spoke with the husband and reminded the husband or told the husband about a pending nomination that he was supposed to make for Delta State. And I thought that was the height of it, Mr. President. We were nominating people who will serve in the Public Complaints Commission. The husband is not the governor of Delta. He's not a senator from Delta. And I felt it was the height of respect that you could have for anybody, that you will ask the husband to submit the name of the nominee for Delta State for a 5-year tenure in public service. That was how we rounded up that discussion. But I listened to distinguished Senator Natasha on Arise. We rounded up that discussion. You came here the following day, you apologized, that rested the matter. But she recalled the matter last week on Arise and simply said, I called her at 13 minutes past 12, middle of the night, to threaten her. And I said, if SP must go down, you too must go down. I never said so. And I call on the DG, DSS, and all those, security agencies who have unrestricted access to telecommunication networks to please recall the record of the discussion that I held with distinguished Senator Natasha on my phone. So, and for me, if somebody says something that I know to be a blatant lie, it will be difficult for me to believe any other thing you say. So that's why when she proceeded later to say I was sexually harassed, Senate President took me around his house where his wife lives, where his children live, and was holding my hand with my husband following. And he told me, do you like this sitting room? If you like it, I'll bring you by there so that we can enjoy ourselves. There was no way I would believe all of that because...
Sorry, what year?
Yes.
What year?
What year? Did the discussion...
No, what year did she allege?
Sorry?
What year?
He said 2023.
2023. What year are we?
This is 2025. Well, sir, I clarified all I needed to clarify. I just wanted to say that, and Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I had said all of those things just for me to make this simple point. Just for me to make this simple point. This is the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are expected to be sober. We are expected to carry ourselves in a way that we will continue to reflect the importance and the sanctity of this chamber. And having said all of this, what I would just say to our colleagues is that I am totally in support of the recommendations by the committee, and I commend them for the good work they have done. And if in the wisdom of this committee, or of this Senate, it is upheld that most distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan be so suspended, then my advice and appeal to her will be that she spends her period of suspension to read and learn our rules very well. So that when she comes back to the Senate, she would have come back as someone who understands this rule back to back. I thank you, Mr. President, and I thank all our colleagues for listening.